my blood, it's in my DNA, it's in my family. I'm fighting every day so I can live another. That's what they call the chase. I accept the challenge, I am running through the flames. Put the time in when nobody knows. Moving in the dark, almost like a ghost. Yeah, we say less, but we do the most. And ain't nobody can compete, that's just how it goes. Every day is dedication, I just wake up and I'm ready. Yeah, I'm practicing my patience. Ain't nobody gonna break me, cause I'm coming here to score. I'm coming here to win, and I think I want some more. Thunder in my system, so I'm running to the flames. Destiny is in my heart, so I gotta find a way. It's disaster, it's pain, it's always just been the same. But we will find a path, cause we chose this lane. You know it's game on.
Okay, good evening, and welcome to a regularly scheduled meeting of the Waterville City Council. There are agendas available on the table near the entrance or online on the city's website. Consent agenda items are routine items which are voted on in one motion and vote. Unfinished or new business items are voted on separately. Councilors will be given the opportunity for questions or comments, followed by citizens who must speak at the podium identifying themselves. Citizens will be allowed to speak one time per agenda item for up to 3 minutes. Citizens who do wish to speak on a topic that does not appear on tonight's agenda will have the opportunity to do so during the public comment section of the agenda for up to 3 minutes. Kicking us off tonight will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First up, disclosure of conflict of interest. Any councilors have any conflict of interest on any of the votes that they will take this evening? Seeing none, we will move right along to the city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of items. A reminder, the parking ban is in effect midnight tonight to 6 a.m. tomorrow for the downtown and concourse areas. Overnight parking's permitted in the Head of Falls lot. And I'm pleased to report the city was awarded a $249,046 grant from the Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry for the Quarry Road Trails Phase 1 Trails Master Plan. Funds will be used to construct a multi-purpose garage, build 4 new single-track mountain bike trails, including the East Side Trail that will run alongside the road from the kiosk lot to the maintenance building lot, and also finalize improvements to our existing Nordic trails. So great work by Jefferson Tucker and Matt Skane, who are here tonight. That's all I have tonight. Thanks.
Mr. Mayor, I'm being messaged that people online cannot hear the meeting.
Uno momento. Scott, can you hear us? Say no. Scott, can you hear us now? Oh. All right, how do we fix that? Well, he came over on this laptop, over on D.
Hey, Scott, can you say something?
No, hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
I can hear you too, Scott. This is me, Tom Klepak. I'm on here as well.
Thank you, Tom.
For fixing that.
Tom, good to hear
Yes.
your voice.
All right.
All right, yeah. Let's do this.
Very good. Okay, sorry, continue, please. Are you all done? Oh.
Unless you want me to repeat it for those who are...
Sure. Like, I don't know who was online tonight. It's kind of a wet weather. Let's give it a shot, just real quick. I apologize. Yeah.
Do everything twice. Okay. A reminder, the parking ban's in effect midnight tonight to 6 a.m. tomorrow for the downtown and concourse areas. Overnight parking is permitted in the Head of Falls lot. And I'm pleased to report the city was awarded a $249,046 grant from the Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry for the Quarry Road Trails Phase 1 Trails Master Plan. And funds will be used to construct a multi-purpose garage, build 4 new single-track mountain bike trails, including the East Side Trail that will run alongside the road from the kiosk lot to the maintenance building lot, and finalize improvements to our existing Nordic trails. So thanks to Jefferson Tucker and Matt Skane, who are here tonight.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, any councilor comments or committee reports? Councilor Green.
I just want to remind people that tis the season for signing up for a city committee. You can go to our website under boards and committees and fill out an application there. There are several openings right now, including our Recreation Committee, which is brand new. So I hope you'll consider volunteering for these important jobs. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Youth Council, welcome. Why don't you introduce yourselves and just give us a brief synopsis of the things that we're doing over there.
Hi, I'm Maddie Andriozzi.
Andrea Gunter.
At our last meeting, we were working on our dark sky ordinance, and we were also working on posts that we were going to share on our Instagram that we're starting.
Yeah, a lot of good work being done, especially with social media, really trying to get the word out to as many people as they can as things that are going on in the city from the youth perspective, and really trying to schedule a lot or create a lot of this content ahead of time so that we can just simply get it posted out, relatively on a good schedule to keep people engaged and not any lapse in communication. So they're working to kind of build up those posts. I know one of the things they talked about is kind of like a who's who, kind of get to know some members of our workforce, our city staff and things like that. So no doubtably they would probably be reaching out to a lot of you and looking to set up some time to do some interviews and kind of day in the life kind of thing. How, what do you do in the city and whatnot. So be on the lookout for that. Any other councilor comments or updates? All right, I want to take 1 second just to read something real quick that I put together. Many of you have probably heard by now the heartbreaking news, in our community. Cliff Hannon, who is the president of the Waterville Sunrise Rotary, suffered a devastating home explosion last week. Cliff's in the hospital with severe burns, and his family is facing an unimaginable, difficult journey. Cliff has always been someone who dedicates his life to serving our community, whether it's helping a family in crisis, spearheading a community project, or answering a call for volunteers. He is consistently one of the first ones to step forward. Tonight, I just want to take a moment just to recognize, all the work that he's done and impacting the lives of so many. In light of this tragedy, I know the Waterville Sunrise has set up a Venmo account. So if you go to their page, you can find that to support Cliff and his family during this long recovery process. And I do encourage you to check the information on the Rotary's page and social media, to make sure that you're getting that accurate details. So just wanted to kind of get that out there because Cliff's a good guy and long road ahead of him for sure. So, but yeah. With that, I will entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Motion for consent agenda.
Okay, Dee, can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Glalie,
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito,
Yes.
Counselor Klepak,
Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal,
Yes.
Mayor Morris.
I don't vote, but I'm in favor of it, whatever. It doesn't count, but. Okay, moving on to, can I get a motion to read by title only, please?
Motion to read by title only.
I'll second.
And Dee, can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Glalie,
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito,
Yes.
Counselor Klepak,
Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal,
Yes.
Mayor Morris.
No. No, I mean, I don't vote. Yeah, you're good. You just, yeah. Only if it's a tie.
Okay.
Wait for the fire station. I'm just kidding. Okay, moving on to old business, ordinance 2019-2025.
Approve amendments to personal ordinance.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion or comments? This is the second reading for the amendments to the personnel ordinance. Anyone have anything at this point? All right. With that, I will move to a roll call, please.
Counselor Glalie,
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito,
Yes.
Counselor Klepak,
Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal.
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, moving on to new business, Resolution 222, 2025.
Authorize the issuance of a vitulers license to Juan Carlos Sanchez doing business as Charros Theater.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, Carlos, sir, you are here this evening. Please, come on up and take a moment. Talk to us about your business.
Is it on?
It should be, yeah.
I thank you guys for the time to hear me out. So at 14 Silver Street, the hopes is to put a Mexican restaurant that is going to be open to family-friendly things, and then hopefully also in the future one day, let the college students from Colby and Thomas be able to enjoy karaoke, trivia. But in the moment, it's only going to be a restaurant. The insurance and the way it's set up right now, it's just going to be Mexican food, open from 11 to 10 most days, and then on Sundays from 12 to 9. And the hopes is to be able to see what the community wants or needs, and if they want a karaoke or a trivia place, be able to integrate that. But of course, with the history the building has, I want to make sure that it first feels safe. It is a good place to be able to eat where someone enjoys a Saturday afternoon, or maybe a little bit after Mass at church, and it becomes a place where people want to walk past that building and feel like that is part of my town.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, we certainly appreciate that. Any questions from the council at all, or anything like that? Okay. Anyone online? Who's Patty? Got her hand raised. Is that you?
That's just the cursor, I believe.
Yeah.
It is? Okay, just making sure. I miss them a lot, so I want, one time I get it, it's not even.
Do you have a, this may have been answered, do you have an idea when you're going to be opening? Like, when is this going to?
So the hopes is just depending on how tonight goes, and then also I'm hearing back from the state, I believe either the 9th or the 13th for the statewide liquor license.
Okay.
And then we would try to roll out as fast as we can the Thursday or Friday after that, if not a week after that, to try to be able to get in before the new year.
Fantastic. I'll be the first in line.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, with that, can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Gilly,
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito,
Yes.
Counselor Klepak,
Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal, sorry.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we have a couple more for you, Carlos. Let's see, this is, Resolution 223, 2025.
Authorize the issuance of a liquor license to Juan Carlos Sanchez doing business as Charros Theater.
All right,
Move to adopt.
Second.
all right, any discussion with regards to this? Seeing none, Dee, can I get a roll call?
Counselor Gilly,
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito,
Yes.
Counselor Klepak,
Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. And moving on to Resolution 224, 2025.
Authorize the issuance of a special amusement permit to Juan Carlos Sanchez doing business as Charros Theater.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion, comments with regard to this?
I'm hearing that somebody's got the laptop up. I'm hearing the Zoom come back.
Oh,
And I'm hearing a little break in the headphones.
okay.
Not here yet, but I don't know if it's our laptop.
Are you on mute, Dee, or no? Like, oh, yeah, okay.
Is the audio coming back muted though?
Okay, not her? Okay. All right. With that, Dee, can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Gilly,
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito,
Yes.
Counselor Klepak,
Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Juan Carlos, thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate
It's
it.
awesome.
You bet. Okay, moving on to Resolution 225, 2025.
Approve the Pine Ridge Golf Course lease extension.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay. Matt, yeah, why don't you kick this off? I know that you work with John closely.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
PRGC LLC owner John Corrado has been leasing the course for us for the last 13 years. He's here tonight if you have any questions. My experience with Mr. Corrado has been superb over the last 13 years. He's professional, he's extremely independent, he asks very little of our department. And he's a golf, he has a passion for the game. So whenever I'm out there visiting him, he's still got it after these 13 years. I hope he has it for another 5. So he really inspires the kids, especially that are out there, to pick up the game. And he, he's always giving them pointers. The pro shop, he keeps it clean and tidy, and just really happy with his performance over the last 5 years or 13 years, and we would like to renew his contract. We began discussing it in July of this year, finally bringing it before you tonight.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. Yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity to go over there for the first time, embarrassingly to say, this fall, and, Quinn had taken up golf, at the high school, and John gave him a couple lessons and things like that. So we had a good conversation. It's a great facility. I walked one of the matches, and whatever. It's a great course. So yeah, I'm excited that you want to continue doing it and doing a great thing. It's very cost effective. It's a great opportunity to get out there and just hit some balls around and learn it for the first time, or just go out and just play a quick 9. It's a really fun and easy course to do, so I think it's great. So any council comments or questions at this point? Or all right. With that, then, I will take a roll call, please, Dee.
Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Klepak?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum?
Yes.
Counselor Beal?
Yes.
All right, excellent. All right, moving on to Resolution 226, 2025.
Approve use of funds for Pine Ridge Golf Course facility upgrades.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, yeah, please.
Right, so we really looking for 2 things. Looking for funds to repair and replace parts of the irrigation system that's now going on 16 years old, and also looking to repair and expand the deck. So each year, lease revenue from the course goes into a reserve account designated for these types of things. We haven't utilized it in several years. So this is something that we're really looking forward to doing. Expanding the deck is kind of exciting for us. The expansion, well, we're going to improve it on the entrance, and then we're going to expand it to wrap around on the east side, so facing West River Road. Give John the ability to, host, maybe bigger events, put people maybe undercover with an awning. So I just think it would be nice aesthetically. It would go. It's right over the putting green, so I think it would be. We've been talking about this for years, so we're really hoping that we can move forward with it. So the funds would be for materials,
Yep.
and the Public Works Facilities Maintenance Department would build it.
Okay, great. Yeah, listen, I think it's a great idea. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If we're gonna continue to operate it as it is, it's good that we invest in the assets that we have. And this is one that I like I said, I've been in Waterville for quite a while. I drove by quite a bit and never stopped in to take a look at. So it is a great spot here in Waterville, and we're certainly lucky to have it here. So yeah, great.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Any councilor comments or concerns? All right, online. All right, with that, Dee, can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Klepak?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum?
Yes.
Counselor Beal?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. John, thank you for all that you're doing. I appreciate it. Thank you. With that, I will move to for Resolution 227, 2025.
Award a bid to Fire Recovery USA for cost recovery services.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Yourself? Yeah, excellent. So our contract with the service that we have now was up. So we went back out to bid to see what was out there. We received 2 bids. I thought we'd actually receive a lot more than that, but we received 2 bids. So just a little background per city ordinance, cost recovery. We are looking to seek payment on services that we provide. And some of those services are, but not limited to, fire permit violations, hazardous material incidents, vehicle crashes or vehicle fires, aircraft crash or aircraft fires, false fires and false alarms, including sprinkler alarms, water-related emergencies, some utility line standby, and any other stuff that we determine per city ordinance. So we went out to bid October 8th. We got 2 of them back. We opened them on November 10th. We got Fire Recovery USA. They started out at 30% of all collection. We did get them down to 25. And if we do bring our cost recovery services up to national standards, which we are not at national standards, actually we're much farther behind than I thought we were, they'll go down to 22%. And then Central Maine Cost Recovery, which is the company that we were working with, they are asking 20% of collected revenue. We scoured through both of these, and Fire Recovery USA is the one that we kind of settled on. They were able to come down to 25% to us. They gave us a very good outlook on the services they provide. One of the biggest things that they do provide us is the ability to have a portal that we can watch and look at to understand what's being paid, what's not being paid, where things are not, which right now with the company that we were using, Central Maine Cost Recovery, that doesn't exist. So we don't know what's coming in, we don't know where things are at, we don't know how things look. And after working with QMC, our EMS billing agency that we work with now, it's a big deal to understand, to be able to, when we look at budget season, to understand kind of where we stand now, what we're looking at for the future, and also be able to look at the last couple of years. Unfortunately, that's harder to do now, and it's hard to understand what we're getting recovery back for. So after talking to Fire Recovery USA, they were, like I said, they were able to come down to 25%. They'd love to work with the city. They have over 2,000 fire departments they work with in the United States. They have 12 of them they work with in the state of Maine. The ones they work with in the state of Maine are very happy with the service they provide. So we recommend going with Fire Recovery USA with a 25% fee on all monies collected. And then I would like to approach the council later on with looking at amending our fees.
Okay. Now, question, when you say if we bring our rates in line with national standards. Correct. That's what you just said, the fee, gotcha.
The fee will go down to 22% collected from 25.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, very good. Any other questions, comments from the council? Yes, Councilor Bean.
So do you have a sense of this company's success? Obviously, it's going to differ from...
They claim they have a 70 to 80% success rate. I wish I knew the success rate of the company we work with now, but that information is not available to us. I do know that we have had some issues with the past in the company that we are with now. We were able to get them ironed out with the help of the finance department. But because we don't see what's coming in or what's being billed out, it's hard to understand kind of where we're at with that company and understand what we're actually collecting, what we're collecting on. The information is very sparse. And I would like to have better information moving forward. It really helps when budget season rolls around. Because I just don't know the answers if I don't have the information in front of us. But
so you're saying that they just send a check, but you don't know
correct
what it's related to? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Like, how do they know what to attempt to collect?
Okay, so
where does that come from? Like,
yeah.
That would be the starting point for
correct
for them, right? Like,
yeah. So it's how we disposition our calls in Image Trend, which is our our reporting software that we use. So just like QMC does with EMS, when let's say we have a car accident and that's billed out at 555. The minute I hit the 555 button, it automatically, at the end of 24 hours, locks out and then gets kicked directly to fire recovery, just like we do with our ambulance billing now. We don't touch it after that. They deal with it after that, but we are able to have a portal set up to make sure that, okay, I know I had a car accident yesterday. Did it get sent out to them? And I can go to that portal and see where it's in the queue, where right now, I don't have a clue.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's really, it'll be a little bit of a learning curve for us. We have to make sure that we are dispositioning those calls the correct way. Just very much similar like we did with our EMS billing. It was a learning curve that we had to learn. But we can see how it's working out, and we can change and make trainings and do all that stuff on the fly. I do think that this company, after talking with them, they're a very professional company, and I would be very excited to work with them.
Okay. All right, great. Any further questions? Anyone online? You guys good? All right, with that, Dee, can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Klepak?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Kriegbaum?
Yes.
Counselor Beal?
Yes.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, moving on to Order 228, 2025.
Authorize the acting city manager to sign the trail use and development agreement, Quarry Road Trails.
Move to adopt.
All right. Cornell, you want to kick us off with this?
Second.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. You want to, you are the acting city manager. You want to kick us off, or would just have these guys come up? Great. Good evening, sir.
How's it going?
Good.
So this is an agreement for trail development and trail use on two adjacent parcels to the access road at Quarry Road. So this would be along the east side of the road, if you're familiar with it, which is the right-hand side driving in. This is the first time we've ever done use agreements with adjacent landowners. But we've been talking about trying to get a trail on the east side of the road forever. So Eric and Stephanie Haley, who own two of the parcels along the access road, we initiated a conversation with them, and they were agreeable to work out some kind of agreement, and the terms and conditions are kind of laid out here, but it allows us to kind of start the process of building a trail and maintaining it, and there's all sorts of stipulations there about how we maintain that, but it's a really great opportunity for us, particularly with the growing mountain bike use we have at the park. The land there is very well drained. It's relatively flat. It's going to be a beginner trail, which a lot of our trails are pretty technical and hilly. So this is going to be like your flow trail, your green level, kids on bikes, kind of intermediate riders. It's going to be fun for everyone. Cool. So yeah, really excited about it. And as you heard earlier, Trails Bond was a state initiative that we're hoping to, fund the construction of that trail with, and we were awarded that grant. We got the notice of award last week, so really exciting.
Good.
So,
That's awesome. Good things. Any comments, questions from the council?
Nice job.
Anyone online? I know Councilor Kleepel's big on Quarry Road. I'll make sure if he wants to say anything. Okay, well, wonderful. Jeff, thank you. With that, I will entertain a roll call, please, Dee.
Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Klepak?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Kriegbaum?
Yes.
Counselor Beal?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. All right, moving on to Order 229, 2025.
Approve a Central Maine Power Company easement on Mitchell Road.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. Want to give an update real quick? I don't
Andy's
see
not
Randy
here, or Randy. But I think you had already approved a easement for CMP, but that location ended up conflicting with location of a hangar. So this is just another easement in a different location, but the idea is the same.
Okay. Did the easement that we approved before just go away, or do they have an easement now that goes over a hangar that they can just access at any point and do things with? Just
As I
curious.
understand, it goes away.
Huh?
It goes away.
Okay. Just curious. All right, wonderful. Any questions or concerns from the council? All right, seeing none. Can I get a roll call, please, Dee?
Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Klepak?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum?
Yes.
Counselor Beal?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 230, 2025.
Amend the ethics ordinance.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Sir?
Yes, Mayor. Hi, my name is Derek Bizik. I work with Bill Lee at O'Donnell, Lee, Martin, and DuBois. So it's their favorite time of year. It's time to update the ethics ordinance. I know it's riveting stuff. I'm going to point out 2 substantive changes for you guys. Everything else was mostly done just for clarity of reading and ease. Section 18-3, paragraph D, where it talks about going into executive session whenever you're participating via Zoom. We would just really want to bring it to your attention that we're trying to create the same type of environment that would be here in the council chambers and your executive session. You really want to be sight and sound separated from everybody because we're dealing with the most sensitive information of the city. Then the last part I have for you guys is in section 18./8, paragraph A. At the very end of the paragraph where it talks about financial interest, it looks like we are trying to add and strike something at the same time within 10 business days. We are actually trying to add that, so that will need to be amended into the ordinance. The Ethics Committee felt like adding the specific timeline in would give you guys a time to actually turn things in instead of an indefinite period.
Okay.
So I'll need, suggest an amendment to the council for that section to include that language being added in and not struck out.
Sounds good.
All right.
We need
Just
to
rereading that because now there's work for me here. Like now I'm on a timeline. I'm like, well, I gotta make sure I agree to this. Hold on a second. Yeah, all right, we're good.
Okay.
No, thank you, Derek. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Any questions or concerns from the council? All right. Wonderful. With that, Dee, can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Klepak?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum?
Yes.
Counselor Beal? Counselor Beal?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Okay, well, with that, we will move on to, we have a couple of discussion items this evening. The first being an impact task force update. So Cornell, I will turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you. So the task force has been meeting since April, pretty much when I started. I think they had one meeting before I started. There's 12 members on the task force. And the first several meetings were spent identifying the weaknesses in the delivery of services to the homeless, and then establishing goals for the task force. And those goals came to the council back in August. Wasn't adopted, but you certainly gave us guidance that we were moving in the right direction. So I would say that the problem is getting worse. Last year, before the winter, it was estimated there were 27 unhoused persons. This year, the police figure it's at about 43. So after we got the clearance from the council to proceed with our goals, we set about bringing in guest speakers, experts to talk about each issue area. And the first was Dan Brennan, who's the director of the Maine State Housing Authority. He spoke about their programs and particularly the benefit of the Housing First program, which is a national model, that you need to provide housing for the chronic homeless before you can address their other issues that they may have, whether it's alcohol or drug abuse or mental illness, you need to get them in housing and then have on-site services to assist them. So he talked about the Housing Authority's program called, what's it called? It is called Housing First. The Homegrown Program, Home for Good, I'm sorry. So the Home for Good program, and they have funding available. The next round would be in January. And at our last meeting, we had staff from Preble Street, a Portland-based agency that provides services to the homeless, and they spoke about their Housing First projects. They have 3 buildings, 85 units, and Preble Street provides the social services at those units. They have 150 people on the waiting list for their program. And Avesta Housing is the property management company that they have for those units, and they rely on housing vouchers and 30% of the tenant's income to cover the operating costs. So on our committees, Dr. Katie Spencer-White, and she runs the Mid-Maine Homeless Shelter, and she's considering an application for the Home for Good program at their property at 8 Highwood Street. The problem that exists is that the funding model requires project-based voucher program like they do in Portland, but the Waterville Housing Authority's voucher funding has been cut from 392 to 322. They have a 5-year waiting list on their vouchers. So the program relies on vouchers at the same time funding for vouchers is being reduced. So it's really a problem. She's going to evaluate it over the next month. I think applications are due the end of January. So the next steps for the task force are to look at backup provisions for when the warming center is at capacity, transportation service options to the homeless, and work with landlords in the city. Also, we're going to collaborate with the city of Augusta, who's also facing significant problems with homelessness. Augusta did send staff from their operations to the meeting we had with Dan Brennan, the Housing Authority Director. And we'll also be inviting county staff to our meetings because this is a regional problem and need more funding options. So that's where we are today.
Just real quick, as I look through this, the task force goals, and I apologize, I didn't go back to look and see, are the bullet points and the sub-points, are those new updates, or is this a reprint of the goals that were established back in August?
Yeah. Yes, these are the same goals that were established, put before you in August, yes.
Okay, so I don't know how the rest of the council, but do we have, or can we get an update to the bullet points as to, like, has this been, like, hasn't been talked about, hasn't, you know, like, this has been updated, like, we're talking about this, or, you know, things like that. Can we get, and we don't have to have another discussion, but if we can get a document that says out of the, here are our goals, we've worked now for, 6 months, and these are the bullet points that we've had conversations about. These are the ones that we still have to tackle. Like,
we will get there, but we haven't been meeting since long enough to start to address. We really just had, since the council met, we had a meeting after the goals to talk about who we wanted to have in for speakers. We decided to have the Housing Authority to start, and really just since they came, we had the meeting with Preble Street to flush out the more, talk about the issues related to the Housing First model. So we're going to get to those. I mentioned that, that's on the list for transportation, landlord, getting the county involved. Yes, we will get there where they can check off, this is how we're doing, but we just haven't met long enough for us to start to do the checkoffs.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Councilor DeBrito.
Yeah, and one thing too, because I'm also on the task force, and one thing that it's been a concern with some of what's going on in Waterville is GA eligibility. So under Title 22, it seems like Waterville is not compliant with the state law. We are having a lot of people that qualify for GA, especially for housing, because we talk about housing first. We talked about how housing is essential for unhoused population. We do have allocated funds in GA for housing, transitioning housing, and any essential needs. But it seems like people are getting denied. People are calling in before putting in an application. They are getting denied. So over the past month or so, I've been getting a lot of calls about this specific complaint about how GA is really not meeting the people where they are. And working alongside with the task force, it makes it very complicated. Since we're putting housing first and we're really trying to get the community to thrive, and that's looking at all ages, aging in place, people with family. It makes it very challenging when we're having GA deny people without even putting an application in. So I would really like even part of the task force is to really get a sense of what the application is like for GA, the denial rate for GA, and really kind of get a sense, because I feel like the city really has to work hand in hand with the task force. So if we're really working like on the task force to really kind of bring the community together to really understand what's going on, especially putting housing first, having people go to GA and be denied for housing vouchers, emergency housing, especially like right now, as we speak this morning, we had a family with 3 children that went to GA and got denied. This family is living
That is not accurate.
Yeah.
That is not accurate, Flavia. She met with them. She talked with them on the phone. She has met their needs for another 2 days until they can come in and complete the application. They know about this family. That is not accurate. They are meeting the needs according to the law. The GA budget is not an entitlement. It is based on application. And there are guidelines that the city has to follow. There's a city ordinance that says we can give out maximum amounts by ordinance, by state law, and we have to follow it. The state comes in every year and audits our program. They were here in November. We are in compliance. We've been in compliance every year for 35 years. Those statements in your email are not accurate for what they are doing in their office.
Okay, so I did speak, I did not speak with the client. I did speak with the counselor from, what was she, hold on one second. So behavior health. So a social worker for behavior health is the one that contacted me. And so they've been working with this family, and this family been asking for a stay in a hotel. So after my email this morning, yes, the family did get an extra 2 nights after the email was sent this morning. But prior to the email being sent, the family with 3 children that are homeless only got 1 night at a hotel. After the email was sent today at 11:42 a.m., yes, they did give them 2 extra nights. So What I'm saying is that in 2004, we had allocated $75,000 for GA. GA came back and only utilized about $50,000 of those funds. So we have people in need, and we are not serving them. And again, in 2025, we have allocated again another $75,000 for GA, and we are almost going to the second quarter right now, and all I'm asking for is an update. I'm asking for an update for applications that are being put through GA, applications that have been accepted, and applications that are being denied.
I would like to add on to that and kind of give some opinion on that as well. I think it is important that we give more GA if we are able to do so for these individuals, but I think a lot of these claims need to be verified. I think that needs to happen first. I think coming in here and stating like, well, they're being denied, unrightfully so, and things like that is a baseless claim unless we have evidence to show such. And I'm happy to hear what the public has to say, and if they have complaints, even if it's somebody from my ward who complained, I'm happy to hear those complaints and then go verify that. I think bringing those without evidence is a way to cause more distrust in the city when it isn't necessarily needed. The other part of this is that even if we aren't utilizing all of GA, there is probably a reason for that is not that people don't need that, but that we have a maximum distribution amount that we're allowed for GA, and there are stipulations of how we give GA out. So it could be the fact that we do actually have a large pool left of GA that we absolutely should give out as assistance, but we may not be able to do so. And because we don't have the evidence or any verification of why this process is happening, it's hard for us to make any reaction of how we're actually handling these situations. And I think that's something that we need to be a little bit more delicate about, is the fact that we might actually be doing things completely correct, and it's not within our power to actually give out more GA unless we go up the chain to a state level or farther. I don't know what the stipulations around GA are, but unless we have evidence that we are being stingy with our GA, I think encountering this and kind of treating this like we are is an incorrect approach to it.
Yeah, and also too, it's very inappropriate too to say that I don't have evidence. I have phone calls, I have emails, I've been talking to people, so it's very.
Have you spoken to Denise?
No, I have not spoken with Denise yet.
So the department of, the Waterville department is the person, like, so you would substantiate those claims by speaking to them?
Yes, and what I was told is you go to the city manager. You go to the city manager before we go to any department head. I'm just following protocols of what I was told to do. So I go to the city manager, and if the city manager wants to schedule a meeting with the department head, and then we'll go ahead and do that. I haven't got no scheduled meeting to do that. And I've been talking about GA, so this is not the first time I'm talking about GA. This is not the first time I've been hearing complaints about GA. So, I have people that are coming to me. I have voicemail, I have emails, and I'm waiting for the next step. So if the city manager wants to go ahead and coordinate a meeting, I'll be more than happy to sit in.
Yes, under the charter, if a counselor wants to meet with a department head and have some significant discussion about something, the proper method is to go through the city manager and make that request. And if that's a request for the health and welfare director to meet with the impact committee, for example, that's fine. But what's being described here, to go through the city manager to make that request of the department head, is the proper way to do it under the charter, to avoid the possibility that a department head ends up feeling like they're being ordered to do something. And of course, there's a very strict prohibition on that. It's the city manager who directs department heads and all other city employees.
I think we're off topic here, which is an update on the task force. And so I do think the appropriate avenue for addressing concerns about GA is with the department, with Denise, and I don't think it's fair to have a discussion here, especially without her present. So I'd like to hear more about, it. You know, I don't know if this was discussed in the task force, but I'm interested in knowing, beyond having guests come and present, and maybe Denise should be one of them because GA is complicated. What are some of the things that we can do as a city to mitigate this problem, especially with the coming winter?
Yeah, and I'm just going to follow up on that because this is part of the task force. This is because we do talk about this on the task force. I did talk about with the homeless shelter. We even try to put a bill in towards the emergency to try to help with the homeless shelter in GA. And unfortunately, that did not go through. But these are conversations that we are having in the task force.
But as I look through the goals of the task force, GA is not listed as one of the goals.
Absolutely.
Housing vouchers, address voucher issues, paramedicine. Like none of this says, screams like a GA, as a GA issue or a task force goal. So I get it, but it's not listed as a task force goal.
And I can follow up with that. I understand it's not listed there, but you got to understand that GA and public assistance is what really holds the community and what helps the community thrive. Because we want the community to thrive. We want people to thrive. We want people to get better and get back to work. But if we don't have assistance, if we don't have GA to really help people, that is part of the task force. It's to help families, it's to help people aging in place, it's to help youths. That is part of the task force. It's to look at the Waterville as a whole. And how are we going to help Waterville thrive?
I don't disagree with you. I'm just simply saying it wasn't identified by the members of the task force as a goal. I'm not saying that it wouldn't come up in the conversation as it should be, but I think that
I do
we've
think
kind of put our GA department unfairly, in my opinion, on point here, and saying that they're not doing everything that they need. They're supposed to be doing. We sent out an email that was very, in my opinion, very accusatory of the work that they do, and we didn't follow up or hear or message, have any type of, correspondence, from Denise in health and welfare. So, I have nothing to say to that at this point, but I think that bringing it up in this context without having that knowledge, I think was very unfair, in my opinion.
And I'm just going to be really clear. Right on my email, I did say here that I am not blaming anyone, and that it's about fixing the system, and it has been under strain for years. So I did not attack anyone in the email. I would love a follow-up. I would love a follow-up. I would love to get a follow-up and for us to really, really tackle this.
Do you mean a meeting with Denise? I
Yes,
think that's
I didn't
appropriate.
even get a response back with the city manager. Nobody replied back to my email since 11 o'clock today. So I had social workers calling me, asking me, what can you do? So all I did is I sent that email. Thank God I sent that email. They got 2 more nights at the hotel. And the police chief also got involved in this morning. And this is part of the task force. So for people to tell me that this is not part of the task force, yes, it is.
Well,
again, no one told you it wasn't a part of the task force.
I mean, I said that discussion of whether GA is doing its job is not part of, should not be part of the task force. And maybe, you know, maybe I misunderstood what you're saying, Flavia, but I guess I'd like to focus on, well, I mean, some of the, when we first put this together, the focus was on, you know, exploring a risk share model, encouraging public-private partnerships to remove barriers for tenants, promoting constructive community behavior, and fostering community partnerships and civic engagement. So, yes, I mean, I think it seems like what's being discovered is what a complex problem housing is, and there's a lot of education that needs to go on, but I mean, I guess I'm just wondering if this is a good use of time for the people on the task force.
You know, having listened to this conversation, I think that we need to keep it constructive. Obviously, the GA topic, I mean, you know, there's going to be conversations had. If it wasn't a part of the task force list of goals, you know, I'll add it. I mean, let's put it there. So, I mean, if it's, I mean, I just don't want this to continue to be argumentative. I want to keep this constructive. People need help. We're in a position where we can help people. Let's do what we can in order to get that goal accomplished, and we can go from there.
Let's just be clear that if people are being denied, let's verify that that is either, you know, within the state law or not, for whatever reason.
That is exactly what my email says, is asking for that information.
Yeah, okay.
Any other updates with regard to the task force at this time? All right, wonderful. All right, next for discussion is the terms of the proposed mobile home park and rent stabilization ordinance. I know that we've got some draft language back from the state. Bill, I know you've had an opportunity to kind of look through that, and yeah.
Yes, I have, and I've drafted a fair amount, but then I got to a point where I thought I really need some council input, and just by brief background, because there may be people here who were not present when we discussed this and voted back, actually, I guess, in September, we adopted a moratorium on rent increases, and that came about as a result of a, last year there was a 20% lot rental increase, and then there was another proposed 20% on top of that, and a lot of people were very concerned because mobile home park lot renters don't have the luxury of just packing up and moving as someone would if they were in an apartment, and the rent got too expensive. And we had a lot of people here who expressed their views on the difficulties they were facing with what was being proposed, and this council voted unanimously to enact a moratorium on lot rental increases until we could get some language from the state, which was working on the matter, a proposed mobile home park lot rent stabilization ordinance. I received a draft, and I think, and the mayor received it last week, 2 weeks ago maybe.
Yeah.
And they're going to be refining it, but there was enough information there for me to start, but not enough information when I really looked at it all to feel I could address all the matters that needed to be addressed. I need council input. And I sent you all a memo with raising some questions. So, and the first one is, should a proposed lot rental increase above a certain percentage require approval from a board we create? Or should there be a hearing only if we have lot renters requesting one? For example, let's say there was a proposed 10% lot rental increase. Is that going to automatically require a hearing, or does it only require a hearing if in fact lot renters say, we would like a hearing? I can envision a situation where the mobile home park owners might say, we need to increase, you all been clamoring for a recreational area and a playground. We're willing to do that, but the rent has to go up 10%. And if mobile home lot renters like that idea, then they wouldn't necessarily be objecting to a 10% lot increase. That's one way of looking at it. Or the other way would be, if there's going to be a proposed rent increase above a certain percent, it has to be approved by the city. And I can, as I say, I can make arguments both ways on that. It may be cumbersome for lot renters to put together a petition, and of course, if it is a petition, what percentage of the owners, of the lot renters need to do that? And I did not feel comfortable steering you all by producing a draft ordinance just with my thoughts. So that's, I wanted to hear from you. So the initial question is, should there be automatically be, if the rent increase proposed is above a certain amount, does it automatically require a hearing before the city? Or does it only require a hearing before the city if enough lot renters request it? And I need some direction on that. And if I need to clarify anything, of course, just ask me. That's my initial question.
Yeah, so I have some thoughts on this. After talking previously with some of the mobile home owners in Ward 5, I honestly think that a flat, if it's over 10% or over, they have to come before the city and justify what they're doing, and not having it go to a petition or things like that is probably the better route to take, just because there are a lot of people there who are working 2 jobs, maybe more. They don't have the time or the capability. Many have issues with transportation and things like that. And so in order for them to, one, get enough signatures to trigger a petition to be seen by the city, and also to then come and justify their petition, is a lot to ask for those individuals. And I don't know if that's necessarily needed. And we could set a threshold. I'm up to discuss what that threshold is, but I do think them just coming before the city, if they want to do something more than 10%, makes sense. Because if it is, say, for a recreation addition to the park, then they can just come say that. There's nothing, we can view that ourselves and say, oh, that sounds reasonable. And if they can bring us, evidence that it's going to actually cost that much, and not just them being like, oh, we're going to fill a pothole, here's 15% extra on your, lot rent, and as long as it's, a justifiable amount of increase, we can take a look at that and we can decide if that's a thing that we think is
That's very clear.
Yeah.
Other counselors, what are your thoughts on it?
That's perfect.
Okay. Online?
Yeah, I've got some comments.
Fire away, sir.
My concern is 10% is quite a bit.
Yeah, that's my concern too.
And, 10% year over year is quite a bit. CPI seems like, I mean, at least that's something that it's a number that we could point to as maybe being a trigger for this type of involvement. And hopefully this is not going to be a problem that's going to last more than a couple of years as we get through and we come to some understanding. So maybe this is something that we could put a sunset date on. That's all. Thank you.
If I may.
Yeah, so.
Can I
Yes,
say
please,
something?
go ahead.
So I agree that to go forward and say, even 5%, I mean, maybe there are some years where, I mean, it's almost an invitation to raise the rent every year, right? I mean, is that really an expectation that that's going to happen? I think that, I mean, I don't know. It depends on what's happening with the economy and the park, et cetera. But I do think that the cost of living is a good basic gauge to the increases.
Actually, we've sort of drifted into my second question. The first question is, do you feel that the requirement of a hearing is something that is triggered by a requested rent increase above a certain level automatically, or does it require action upon the renters to trigger the requirement for a hearing? And I think I'm hearing from the council the former. In other words, if it's a proposed rent increase above a certain level, before that's going to take place, they have to make an application to the city, and there's going to be a hearing, and that matter is going to be decided. And Mr. Beal, would that reflect your position correctly?
Yes, I think so.
Without looking at the number here yet, I'm not just looking at who has to request the hearing.
Yeah.
And Mr. Klepak.
Is there anyone here from the landlords?
We gave them notice, and I don't know if there's.
Dee, do we get anybody online? Yeah. Okay. Do they? Okay.
There's somebody raising their hand.
Okay.
Then let's hear from. Well, Mayor.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Is she? Well, okay. Is that Joe's wife or significant other? I wonder if. Or is,
yeah, she set this up for me.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hey, I'm not too bad. Yourself, sir?
Good. All right, what do you got for us, sir?
Well, as far as if they want a high rate increase, I feel it should go back to the council and have a public meeting so the people that do live in these manufactured home parks have a say if they think it's too much, because from what I've seen in these parks, our lot rent's going up every year, and there's a very minimal amount of work being done to maintain the parks.
Yeah.
So these 20% park lot rents they've done, they're really not addressing our issues in the parks. And I mean, if you want, I'll go around again. I got many signatures for Cassie to get this going. I'll get statements or whatever from the park people on exactly what goes on in these parks. And just to make it a little quicker, just a suggestion on your percentage for lot rent increase. I feel a 3%, if you're going to go yearly, a 3% lot rent or the cost of living, whichever is lowest.
Thank you, sir.
Other than that, I'll discuss it with anyone who likes to discuss it further.
Okay. So Rebecca, we got an email from Dave Johnson, who's a member of the planning board, and he weighed in a couple thoughts. One, again, the rate increase amount should be set, the annual acceptable increase to match Social Security COLA, which is typically announced in October. We could easily allow for, one increase per calendar year, not to exceed the Social Security COLA. That was his recommendation. And I don't know that we got to that yet.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
We have another person with their hand raised.
Okay, 1 second. And then if the park owners want to increase the rent above the rate, Dave thinks that the planning board should be the appropriate body to hear that request. The planning board is intimately familiar with the growth of the park.
Conflict of interest.
What's that?
Potential conflict of interest. They hear proposed expansions and issues concerning the. I just making that as a quick comment.
No, that's fine.
We have to be very careful.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm contemplating that we actually create a board, a 5-member board, which should be nominations by the mayor, appointed by the council, to keep any possible conflict out of it.
Okay.
And because that would be a mess.
Okay. Very good.
Quick comment there.
No, that's fine. Okay, great. Dee, who we got?
Hi, this is Diana Kabalik.
Hi, Diana.
I am also a resident of the trailer parks.
Sure.
And my question would be, if a board is created, would any of the residents be able to have a presence on said board?
Conflict of interest.
Yeah.
You'd be deciding your own rent increase. to be subject to a legal attack. You want people to be disinterested. You want whatever their decision is to be considered to be fair and evenly administered. Right. And that's why we keep a planning board out, and we need to keep renters out. There are just conflict issues there.
Yeah.
Would they be able to, would residents be able to go before the board and state their case, however?
Absolutely. Yes, they would be entitled to appear, offer evidence, give testimony. Absolutely. So I certainly don't think that there wouldn't be the right to equal participation. That would certainly exist. That's the nature of a due process hearing. Yeah. Both sides are entitled to be fully heard.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think I've got very clear direction. Above a certain amount, it's going to be a hearing. Below a certain amount, there's no right to a hearing. Which leads to the second question. We've had some discussion about that, which is what is that percentage? The CPIU for 2024 was 2.95%. Round that to 3%. If your leanings right now are if it's above the cost of living for the preceding calendar year, then there has to be a hearing. I will put that in. And do understand, you're going to be getting a draft of an ordinance. Right. You can change things around then when you wish, but just in the drafting process, I want to be able to have some direction so I don't spend a whole bunch of time and then you look at it and say, oh, no, we don't want to do it that way. We want to do it another way. And you're giving me some direction here, and I think I'm hearing essentially the cost of living perhaps for the preceding calendar year as a starting point. Now, if mobile home park owners have a different argument when this comes before you, maybe that'll change, but I'll write it the way I think I'm hearing you say it now.
I do have a question that's born somewhat out of ignorance. The Social Security COLA that Dave had recommended, is there a difference between that and the CPI? Like, are those separate numbers?
You're pretty close. The Social Security increase, that goes into effect for 2026, is 2.8%. The CPIU, which is urban, for calendar year 2024 was 2.95%. I do not have an explanation for the relatively small difference between the two and how that's calculated.
Given that that's the case, and I know that there is a significant portion of the parks that are on Social Security, maybe we stick it to the Social Security COLA, just because that will be more impactful for the actual individuals that are living in those parks.
How does that sound?
Yep. Sounds good.
Thank you. Anybody, Mayor, from the...
Yeah, please.
Mr. Beal or Mr. Klepak? Anything to add to that?
Nope.
It's real easy to forget about the people on the wall.
I'll weigh in if you don't mind. Give me a sec here. I would support the Social Security COLA. I think, whatever you come up with here, you're going to be seeing these people. This is basic economics. People are going to be coming in on an annual basis, right? Why wouldn't they be taking advantage of whatever percentage we stipulate? If we're putting a specific percentage, they're going to be trying to maximize that. So we're going to be seeing them on an annual basis. My thought is that we should take Bill's suggestion and formulate a board of disinterested participants that have, some expertise that's relevant to the question to make these decisions. I don't know. It seems like a board that is specifically educated on the topic and that can decide the issue would be a smart thing, because otherwise I think you could reasonably expect that the issue will be coming before the council on an annual basis, and might as well have a board that's dedicated to the topic handle that labor.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think what the board would come into effect if the park owners want to come in at an increase higher than what the Social Security is set. So we would allow in this ordinance, we would allow the park owners to put forth an annual increase of whatever that Social Security number is, 2.8%, 3%, whatever that is. If they came back and said, we want to do a 5%, that would trigger the board to get together to say what the justification is for that. So if the park owners are content with the 3%, like, then there wouldn't be any trigger or any, board to meet that particular year. So.
And the next question I have is, what is the longitudinal history of the price history in the trailer park here? Have there been periods of flat stability? Have there been, I realize that the sort of precipitous rise is what initiated this conversation here. But by stipulating a specific percentage, I'm wondering whether we're like baking in a constant rise and, rather than hoping for a steady state. The goal is to get stable and affordable housing for individuals. And I'm a little bit worried that by getting too over stipulated here, that we're going to be having unintended consequences.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, then go ahead, please.
So have we seen, you said there was draft language for this, ordinance?
No numbers were in that draft language. There were blanks.
Well, right. I'm not thinking about numbers. I'm just like on principle. The principle is that, I guess it's hard to say without seeing what the language is on this this limit on rental increases, right? Is it going to be tied to work done in the park, or I guess before seeing the way that it's written, I'm not. There's going to be more to it than you can only raise it so much per year, right?
Let's say the owner has proposed a 10% lot rental increase.
Yeah.
They would be asked to provide the information, financial information, that justifies the proposed increase. That's why you want board members who have some financial background and can look at this. And of course, the burden's upon the park owner to justify that larger increase. And it might be very justified if it's going to be an expansion of a playground, a park, whatever that has a certain price tag to it, or maybe it's paving roads that are not paved. Provide the information. How much is that going to cost? Where are you in terms of being able to afford that? There was a legal challenge made to Portland's overall rent control ordinance. And the language and part of the language that was challenged was, it said that the landlord was entitled to a fair rental return, fair rate of return. And they said that that was too vague. The Superior Court Justice who heard that said, well, fair rate of return is equivalent to reasonable rate of return. We have innumerable number of cases where the word reasonable has been found to be sufficiently specific to give the fact finder guidance in making a decision, so it was upheld. I will probably use the word reasonable and not require it to be translated from fair rate of return. But the landlord is entitled to a fair rate of return, and that's based on what is being requested, what is the basis for that request. There's a real analysis that has to take place, and I've written some fairly detailed language on that because the model ordinance assumes a form of government that's not quite the way we operate, so we have to make a lot of changes there. But I'm comfortable with drafting that language to produce a fair hearing, a good due process hearing, where both sides can be fairly and completely heard, and then that board makes a decision. And you know, what it is, you don't know till the rental increase comes in and what's the justification for it. And then that board would make that decision after hearing. And if the party's not happy with that, there's the right of appeal to Superior Court. That would be the way it would go directly from the hearing. The model ordinance contemplated possibly having an administrator make the initial decision, which would be like a city employee. And you've heard from, all our city employees, they got plenty to do as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And what would their qualifications be to be making that kind of decision? So my inclination is, no, we don't go through an administrator. We create a board that will hear these matters and provide a due process hearing.
Mm-hmm. Councilor
Now,
Bill.
will the board have any kind of representation from the city council? In particular, the city councilors that have these types of facilities in their ward?
The only participation that a city councilor would have would be perhaps allowed to testify during the hearing. No city councilor could sit on this board because you're going to be appointing the members of the board. You have a conflict of interest. And also, I mean, just the politics of it is not, you don't want to be there. You want somebody that's going to be perceived as being fair and impartial. That's the best way to have decisions honored and respected. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
I think
He did, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Is that the same hand?
Yeah. Joe, are you good, or is this hand still raised, or?
I don't know.
All right, we'll assume that he's good.
He's muted, but,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
You have given me the direction I need, and I thank you very much.
No, thank you. I'm sure that we'll have.
Now I have work to do.
We'll have a few more of these before, we have to go, like, is there more language to come, or?
No, I will be drafting a proposed ordinance that'll come before you, and then it's open for debate.
Okay,
And we
perfect.
certainly hope to have participation from mobile home park owners in it. We don't want to hear about it after it's been adopted, say, oh, there's a problem because of such and such. If there's some problem with language, let's hear about it ahead of time. And I believe they were notified about our discussion here tonight. Yes, right, Cornell? They were. Okay. So I don't believe any representative from the park owners is present by Zoom.
Yeah.
However, this will come back before you again, and it'll be subject to open debate before you make any decisions.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Bill.
Well, I appreciate it as well. Thank you very much.
You bet. With that, I will entertain.
Thanks, Bill.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. Roll call. Do we have to, usually we say.
Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Klepek?
I don't know.
But,
I just want to make sure, usually we're all in favor, like.
well, we can. He's
All right.
gone, yeah.
He's gone.
Yes.
All right, well, have a good night.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Counselor Green?
Yeah, I'm
Craig
out.
Baum?
Yes.
Beal?
Yes.